What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's time to get some more Cohen in your system. So we're back listening to this album. We're going to come back to I'm Your Man. And we're going to listen to this track first. We take Manhattan, which is actually the opening track off of this album. A lot of you guys had recommended listening to this particular track after we listened to Everybody Knows, which I really enjoyed. And I'd like to listen to some more. So some of you that has suggested this particular track, as far as I know, Theo Zofrock, MPG, Sonny Henriksen, Viceroy ZH, Colonel Kurtz, I get you, Apocalypse Now, Colonel Kurtz New, actually that's your full name, I love that, Ken L, Mr. Wondrous, Karik, Sylvain Dupuis, and Mark Dreschler. And there's a lot more of you as far as I can see. So thank you guys so much for the suggestion. Actually, I was born in Manhattan, and I lived there for the first 3 years of my life, and that was it. I can't say that I have any New York in me, really. It's in that first 3 years of my life, but I remember it. Good times, good times. Anyways, let's go ahead and listen to the song. We'll talk about it after. First, we take Manhattan. Here we go. It's getting down on that synth, though. Big wave. That wave adds the ambience you need.
They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now, I'm coming to reward them. First, we take Manhattan. Then we take Berlin.
I love that, man.
I'm guided by a signal in the heavens. I'm guided by this birthmark on my skin. I'm guided
back and forth.
Beauty of our weapons. First, we take Manhattan.
I love that little fill.
Then we take Berlin.
Interesting. This is different.
Now you love me as a loser, but now you're worried that I just might win.
He brings a certain
You know the way to stop me,
stature to the music.
but you don't have the discipline. How many nights I prayed for this to let
that
my
bass.
work begin. First, we take Manhattan. Then we take Berlin.
It's heavy.
I don't like your fashion business, mister. And I don't like these drugs that keep you thin. I don't like what happened to my sister. First, we take Manhattan.
I love that synth fill.
Then we take Berlin.
When it's just her, it kind of comes across as like a normal synth pop hit, right? This is a clear duality in the song.
And I thank you for those items that you sent me. The monkey and the plywood violin. I practiced every night. Now I'm ready. First, we take Manhattan.
It's ominous to him.
Then we take Berlin. Remember me, I used to live for music. Remember me, I brought your groceries in. Well, it's Father's Day, and everybody's wounded. First, we take Manhattan. Then we take Berlin.
Huh. This is a song we gotta discuss. This is a song we're gonna discuss a little bit. First, we take Manhattan. Okay. I've only listened to one full album by Leonard Cohen, and that was the first album, his debut album, which is a really, really lovely, I don't know what you would say, singer-songwriter, folk kind of album. Very mellow, very intimate, and I think it's a sensational album. I listen to it occasionally. On my own still in my spare time. We've skipped ahead. Admittedly, we've skipped ahead. Which album is this compared? This is his 8th studio album, so we've moved on. Now, I don't know if this is the first album in which he kind of dives into more synth-led music and this kind of synth-pop direction, or if this was kind of a long way coming. But regardless, just for myself listening to it, obviously it's night and day. There's a clear distinction and difference in what I've heard and what I'm listening to now. With First We Take Manhattan, I think I really just can't get it out of my head that this is just a very interesting experiment for him. I don't know how he got here, but it just sounds very interesting how he's progressed into this particular direction. And it's not like he's progressed into this direction and he's making like a pop hit. There's still that same amount of depth, both lyrically, of course, with his singing, his voice, and with the experimentation that's happening even here, that it still feels true to him. So I'm curious how like a song like this, or maybe this album, was received among fans of Leonard Cohen's previous work. Like I said, I can't say. Maybe the albums before this was already going into this direction. But for me, this is kind of a shock. Now, what I think is so cool about this track is the night and day comparison and the contrast in here. Whenever Leonard is singing, obviously his voice commands the room. It has gravitas. There's a depth to it. You can't help but listen to him. And the music beneath his voice often comes with this ominous kind of tone. There's usually something else in the background that's just kind of looming back there in the shadows. He gives you his eyes, but his thoughts maybe tell a different story. However, when the other vocals, let me see if we can find out who's singing on this track. While I'm talking, I'll look it up. The backup singer, whoever she is, when she sings in her verses, it's really just a straightforward summary pop hit. I think that is so interesting. How just when they sing, obviously their voices themselves contrast completely differently, but even the music behind them accentuates their abilities. I see here that it is Actually, there's a decent amount of information here. It says initially written for and recorded in 1987 by his ex-backup singer, Jennifer Warnes. Okay, so it's Jennifer Warnes who's going to be singing. Obviously, she has a great voice too. I really enjoy her singing. But it's really cool that contrast within the song itself. And for a 6-minute song like here, it's given room to grow and it's given room to be delivered in proper fashion. Because this could have very easily just been cut up and made into like a very typical single charting kind of song. But because of the time that's allowed to it, it's allowed to kind of expand upon its compositional wings and what Leonard's trying to say and what he's trying to get across lyrically, which I'm not sure about at all. I was following the lyrics and I'm not quite sure what's happening. We'll find out as we dive into that in a little bit. But musically, I just think that that's really interesting. There is a part of me, I'll admit, there is a part of me that wishes that this wasn't such a synthy poppy song and maybe given more traditional instrumentation. However, I'm not so stuck up on that it takes away from this. I think that this is just a very cool track. And I think especially because of the lyrics and their back and forth and how the music really kind of accents them. We're definitely going to have to read up on this one though, because I'm not quite sure what it's about. They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now. I'm coming to reward them. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. So the first thing I'm thinking of is a criminal, right? Like they gave me 20 years of boredom sitting in prison, and he was trying to change the system from within, trying to do something nefarious. And now he's coming back to take his revenge, and he's starting in Manhattan, and he's going to take it all the way to Berlin. It's a worldwide and a global effort. I'm guided by a signal in the heavens. I'm guided by this birthmark on my skin. I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. And then he repeats first take Manhattan, then Berlin. So, you know, he's doing this in the name of the heavens. He's doing this because of a birthmark on his skin. He's doing it because of the beauty of the weapons. Whatever reason, doesn't matter. The end effect is whatever criminal activity he's getting involved in. I'd really like to live beside you, baby. I love the spirit, or your body and your spirit and your clothes. But you see that line there moving through the station? I told you I was one of those. So I'll be honest, I kind of got thrown off there. Is he like, he's a criminal, he's about to do whatever he's about to do, and he not falls in love with this person that he sees, but he kind of takes an attraction to them. And he says, you know, I love you. I want to be with you. I want to do this. But you see that line there moving? I told you I was one of those. Well, what is that line is the question. And what is he? You loved me as a loser, but now you're worried that I might just win. You know the way to stop me, but you don't have the discipline. How many nights I prayed for this to let my work begin. First take Manhattan, then Berlin. Like, okay, so maybe they've been together in a relationship. And he's saying, you know, I've always failed in the past, but now when there's a chance I actually might succeed, now you kind of care. And he says, you know how to stop me, but you don't have the discipline. I don't like your fashion business, mister, and I don't like these drugs. They keep you thin. I don't like what happened to my sister. First, so maybe that's part of the reason he's taking revenge on these businesses and things. I'd really like to live beside you, baby. I love your body and your spirit and your clothes. But you see that line moving through the station, okay? He says that again. I thank you for those items you sent me. The monkey, the plywood violin. I practiced every night. Now I'm ready. Remember, I used to live for music, baby. Remember, I brought your groceries in. Well, it's Father's Day and everybody's wounded. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. So like here, I think he commits whatever crime and act he was going to commit. Maybe it's a shooting of some sort, a mass shooting, something like that. And he even said, I mean, I'm thinking, even right here, you know the way to stop me. Like, she could stop him, but doesn't have the discipline. Very interesting lyrics, right? Like, aren't the lyrics, like, very deep? And I think I'm on the scent of it. But let's look down here. It says it became a staple in Cohen's concerts and a major source of discussion among those trying to decipher his poetry. Cohen himself said, probably the most extreme comment Cohen himself made about the song is this one. I'm not sure of what it means right now because I had this long voyage from Chicago. I think it means exactly what it says. It's a terrorist song. Okay, there you go. I think it's a response to terrorism. There's something about terrorism that I've always admired. The fact that there are no alibis or no compromises. That position is always very attractive. I don't like it when it's manifested on the physical plane. I don't really enjoy the terrorist activities by psychic terrorism. I remember there was a great poem by Irving Layton that I once read. It was, well, you guys blow up an occasional airline and kill a few children here and there, he says. But our terrorists, Jesus, Freud, Marx, Einstein, the whole world is still quaking. That's a really interesting... See what I mean? Like, Cohen always has, like, I love that kind of creative mind that can think in a completely unconventional way. Because that is really interesting. That brings a whole new meaning to the lyrics. I was on the scent, though. I was on the scent. So, like I said, okay, so this was originally recorded by Jennifer Warnes in 1986. Cohen tribute album, Famous Blue Raincoat, which consisted of songs entirely written or co-written by Cohen. This is really cool. And so I guess Jennifer Warnes' version, original recording, also has guitar played by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, so is it not Warnes that's singing in this one? Cohen's then girlfriend, Dominique Isserman, shot a black and white promotional video. Vocals. So it's Anjani. Okay, so it wasn't Jennifer Warnes who's singing on his version. It's Anjani who's singing. Okay. Now, sometimes you start off on the wrong path, and occasionally you find yourself on the right path, and occasionally you don't find yourself really anywhere at all. This was a really cool song, though. I love the lyrics, and I love the story behind it, the meaning, the inspiration. That's the depth I really, really enjoy. So thank you guys so much for the suggestion. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know, really, I'm curious about the whole move into this kind of synth pop direction. If this was the first album that's happening on, if this happened before, what was the fans' response during the time? What is your fans' response now? Let me know that. Comments down below. Follow me in a bunch of places. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for sticking around. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.